Hey, what's up guys? UrAvgWarGamer is back with another video for the Warships. And today, I'm going to be featuring the newest Tier 9 premium battleship that you can grind right now for free with the help of Ming tokens and that complicated event which I have explained previously in my YouTube channel. And well, that is the Pan-Asian Taihang. Now, I will explain everything that you need to know about Taihang, but first of all, you can also either get the Taihang for free, that is your choice, or either get the legendary commander, which is Conrad Helfrich, for free. But you have to decide for yourself whether you are looking to get this Pan-Asian premium battleship or maybe the commander. But I will explain that why Taihang is a good battleship, and in my opinion, I'm just gonna give you a simple TLDR that it is actually pretty good battleship that they have released. Now, what is Taihang? Now, Taihang is a Tier 9 Slava with its Pan-Asian unique flavors. Now, first of all, Taihang having pretty much similar characteristics in terms of the AP shell performance like you find on Slava, but slightly worse. Taihang having, like, for example, I think around 17-18 kilometers, 573 millimeter penetration, whereas Slava having like 630 millimeter penetration. So it's not too far. That is one difference that I would say that it has compared to Slava. So the gun performance and also the dispersion, which is also kind of exactly like Slava, which means that it has really solid vertical dispersion, but just slightly worse than Slava. Again, I think due to that Russian battleship, they have given it a Russian flavor with a lot better shell velocity. Like the shell flight time is also on Slava is slightly better than Taihang. The penetration is also slightly better than Taihang. But again, it's not too far at all whatsoever. Like, for example, in the case of Taihang, the penetration rivals like that of the Shikishima 510 millimeter guns. Yes. So Shikishima 510 millimeter guns penetration, you are kind of getting almost similar penetration on Taihang. So you can already see that the dispersion, that the penetration will be pretty solid. But just not like Slava. Slava is slightly going to have edge at very long ranges, whereas Taihang still gonna be performing extremely well and consistent, at least at around 18 kilometers or so. Slava obviously gonna perform and get a lot much more consistent citadels at around 20 or even more than 20 kilometers because of that bonkers penetration that Slava gets. But on the other hand, I would say that even though it has, just like I said, it has slightly worse dispersion, vertical dispersion, slightly worse. The dispersion ellipse pattern is basically similar like that of Slava, but a couple of things that I would like to mention. The Taihang does have Pan-Asian torpedoes. 4 of them, as you can see here, we have deep water torpedoes. They have 10 kilometer range and 17,933 damage, which is kind of like reminds me of a pre-buff Yu-Yang. Yu-Yang used to have that much damage on these torpedoes, so Taihang kind of gets this Pan-Asian flavor with these deep water torpedoes, 4 strapped on each side. That is not you will find on Slava. And also, since Taihang is a Tier 9 battleship, its HP pool is at 80,000, which I would say is very respectable. I mean, Slava also has like 93,000 HP if I'm not wrong. So it is not too bad at all. In fact, I would rate Taihang HP overall to be in a good numbers. Like, they haven't nerfed the Taihang HP to like 60,000 or maybe 70,000, something like that. Even though it does have, just like Slava, 1 less heal. Like, you have 3 heals on Taihang as well as on Slava base. So that is something that I would like to mention. As you can see here, that is the case. Obviously, you can increase it by the help of the commander skill, which increases it to 4, but that would also be a thing for the Slava as well. Also, one more thing that I would say Taihang gets some edge over Slava is that these are 406 millimeter guns. 8 of them but having 32 seconds of reload time base. And the DPM numbers basically are similar. In fact, you have slightly better AP DPM compared to Slava. And as you can see here, that AP penetration, that is like that of Shikishima almost. You can able to see that I have able to citadel the Hyzen here very reliably once he was like super flat broadside. And there are going to be some instances, as you can see here, that Iowa, even though he won't be getting citadel because he's slightly angled, but then you can see here you get the raw penetration performance at tier 9 with 406mm guns feels good. Because the thing about the Taihang at tier 9 is, and the reason why I like Taihang a lot much more than Slava. Slava does, again, Slava has its own place. They still managed to make Slava a unique ship, sort of, because of the better dispersion and better vertical, stuff, or I would say the values. It's still definitely better. But Taihang is at tier 9, which means that there are cruisers which are 27mm that you can overmatch, which you cannot do at tier 10 with Slava. That is a big difference. Okay, that is definitely a big factor that kind of makes Taihang a lot better compared to Slava. Also, the Taihang does have 32mm bow and 32mm stern, which is a good news because, again, Slava does not have that access. You have 25mm bow and stern, kind of makes it very weak if pushing, which Taihang does not have to suffer. In fact, the Taihang firing angles are also pretty impressive. It has front firing angles that is 25 degrees and kiting firing angles that are 27 degrees. So you are going to be fully angled. Like, the minimum requirement to be angled good is like 30 degree. And I would say 30 degree firing angle, front firing and back firing angles are pretty good. But Taihang gets better firing angles, which kind of makes it definitely a lot better. And my experience certainly feels exactly like that. And you can see here that the reason I'm playing in a kiting position and not pushing in is because it is having the same role as Slava. That is not changed. Okay, the superstructure is vulnerable. The deck armor, the whole deck is 32mm, like covered 22mm all over the place, which means that the cruisers with 203mm guns that have 32mm penetration and above can be a problem, and you cannot deal with them unless you are kiting away, because you also don't have access to 4 base heal, so your overall survivability is still kind of low. But at tier 9, I feel that it still kind of has one step up compared to Slava. So just because you have 406mm guns, superior advantage. At tier 9, 406mm guns are pretty good. Again, the bow and stern makes it a lot much more reliable overall in terms of survivability, making Taihang to be pretty good. And in my experience, whenever I use these deep water torpedoes, they also come pretty handy. And again, one more thing that I would like to mention is that these deep water torpedoes having very good firing angles when you are kiting away, but not good firing angles when you are pushing, which kind of makes Taihang such that you have to play in a kiting position. That's how Taihang should be. But even sometimes when you are having some close quarters, these torpedoes can do wonders as well. Like, these can be pretty nice. And you can able to see that. I haven't talked about the match. I was talking about the Taihang all over the place, right? Because there are so many things to mention. And I think one thing that I would mention, that Taihang is pretty reliable overall. Overall, the guns, I'm pretty satisfied with that. This is my personal experience. The gun performance, definitely not like Slava. Again, it's not exactly like Slava, but it is close. The vertical dispersion sometimes kinda gets a bit worse. Sometimes. You can also see some volleys that you might have seen that I have gotten some worse dispersion. But maybe it might be due to the fact that I was a bit playing like around 13-14 kilometers. And also one more thing that I would like to mention is that you can have 6, or I would say 6 guns or 3 turrets. 3 of these turrets, they can turn from the front. Like the third turret that you are seeing right now, the middle-ish third turret at the back, that turret can easily turn from the front. It does not need to just turn from 180-degree angle. Like, it does not need to like go from 360-degree angle and it just turns like crazy. It's gonna take long. That's not the thing. And that's why when I just turn from right to left, you can see here I have 6 guns ready up and running. And that last turret gonna have to take a lot of time. And you can see here I'm using these deep water torpedoes, which I felt to be pretty nice, I would say, thing for Taihang, especially when you're pushing. And I think this is the time that I felt that I should push, because, well, we somehow managed to just push them back. Overall, I did pretty decent damage, 198k damage. The enemy team pushed too much, and that costed them pretty much their game. And I think that's something that you should not really do. If I would be maybe in another battleship, I think the result might be similar, but the guns still are, I would say, are kind of reliable overall. And that's why I have managed to get more than 207k damage, 4 kills, and finally a kill with the torpedo, giving me a double strike and crack him. And I think that is the way that you should play Taihang if you want to play Taihang, right? So as you can see here, my teammates, they were happy, they are complimenting, and there is someone who said God job. I know he said good job, but yeah, God job. But hey, it was a good game overall. I would just simply get to the captain skills and upgrades, and I will give you my final conclusion of this ship. But let me just fast forward this because, well, the game is about to end. There is the El Ketonis who just decided not to just die and just wasting the time, which I think he should not have done that. I have tried to blind fire him, but kind of does not really make sense because he was in smoke, but still, sometimes you might land a shell. But here it is, we got a win. It was a really good game. You can see here I have farmed decent credits. A tier 9 premium battleship means that it does earn you decent credits, which I would say Taihang is a good battleship for that. 210k damage, which is pretty nice. 5 kills, 5 sits, 1 torpedo hit, and some secondaries, which is kind of funny. Team score wise, you do have 2.2k base XP. So yeah, that was a nice game. There are a couple of things like captain skills and upgrades which I would like to mention now. As I would like to show you a couple of very detailed sort of numbers that are kind of interested in buying Taihang. As you can see here, I am on the shiptool.st website, which kind of gives you a lot much more information than the game client itself, which kind of sucks. I hope Wargaming kind of make the game client such that you get a lot of the valuable information that the shiptool.st is providing. Okay, but anyways, so we have the main battery parameters here. Okay, as you can see, Taihang has 198k APDPM. The Slava has 195k APDPM. So the APDPM of Taihang is better at tier 9, which is pretty good. And the reason why is the case is I would explain that in AP shell performance. But you can see here you have 23.1 kilometers, slightly less range, but I would say is still respectable for tier 9. Reload time is slightly better. The vertical dispersion, however, and even the horizontal dispersion just slightly bit worse. Vertical dispersion is definitely worse compared to Slava, and I think that's where Slava still is kind of a king in that regard. Sigma parameter is same. The shell flight time is, however, also slightly high on Taihang, and Slava has better shell flight time. Again, I think these are the characteristics that they want to retain for Russian ships, so that is something that I would like to mention. Turret traverse is basically the same. The AP shell, which I would like to mention, 406mm guns. If I can show you the alpha damage, as you can see here, Taihang has 13,250 alpha damage. So it does not have sort of a nerfed 406 millimeter caliber alpha damage nerf that you find on Slava. Slava has like for balancing, like literally balancing the Slava, they have decided to just nerf the alpha on the Slava. But that is not the case on Taihang, which I would say is pretty nice. Shelf life time, again, you can clearly see there's a difference. The penetration, however, is very interesting to look at. As you can see here, we have Taihang here, and there's also Shikishima and Yamato that I'm mentioning. You can clearly see here, Yamato has worse penetration compared to Taihang at 18 kilometers. And Slava has obviously superior penetration. And this is something which is kind of cool to watch and kind of weird to look at as well at the same time. Like how 460 millimeter guns does not have that good penetration. But I mean, they want to make it interesting, a unique sort of sniper battleship. So they have done that with Slava and Taihang. So that's what it is. The HE shells are again 40% fire chance for Slava and Taihang. Secondaries, nothing to look at, to be honest. I don't think so there's anything that I should mention. The Taihang torpedoes, well, that is something that is very unique to Taihang, which is pretty nice. The anti-aircraft, or I would say air defense, however, is definitely superior in Slava. But again, for some reason, at least Taihang still have better AA strength than Yamato. Yamato has really bad. But Taihang still feels a bit better than that. But again, Slava still has better range, medium range aura. Taihang has only like 3.5 kilometer and a couple of other things like that. So flags are also a bit less. Slava has more flags, but again, it's at tier 9. So maybe the AA strength is not too bad, but I'm not still a big fan. If it would have some sort of like 60 to 62 or 65 entire strength like Slava, having 4 kilometer aura, that would be pretty nice. Airstrikes are similar. Consumables are exactly as you find on Taihang and Slava, pretty similar. 3 heals base. 15 second DCP, 15 seconds DCP. And that's basically it. As you can see here, the HP pool is just roughly 10,000 less in Taihang compared to Slava. And turning cycle is definitely a lot better. So that, like, these are the things that I would like to mention and worth noting for Taihang. Before taking a look at the captain skills and upgrades, I want to showcase you the armor of Taihang. That could also be one of the factors when purchasing this ship. And well, you can see here it does have 32mm armor on deck, the deck onto the back, and the front is also 32mm armor. But again, the bow and stern armor that you find on Slava pretty bad because it will be getting overmatched by tons of battleship at tier 10. That's not going to be the case, at least on Taihang. However, the armor profile on Slava onto the side is, I would say, superior. Like Slava does have better armor on the side overall. Taihang does have this 356mm armor belt. And then if I look at the citadel real quick, you can see here we also have slightly sloped, but it's kind of does not make much of a difference. Having 108mm armor there and 115mm citadel armor there. And that is a big citadel. That's not a small citadel. That's not like waterline citadel. That's definitely above waterline citadel. So that is something that I would like to mention. But still, overall, I felt Taihang to be, I would say, more tankier than Slava. I felt that, and that's what I really kind of having the experience. So let's talk about the captain skills and the upgrades. So for captain skill, it's going to be pretty unique. Okay, it might be very unorthodox, but I'm using Shah Zenbing, which does have some extra talents, like emergency supplies, which would be pretty easy to proc, like ship consumable preparation and reload time, minus 6.5% with 1.5 million potential. I have proc that multiple times on Taihang, no problem whatsoever. And well, it is difficult to proc this high alert and also the torpedo attack expert. I mean, it's not easy to do that. 6 torpedoes on Taihang is almost impossible. But well, you can see here we have the captain skill. Now, I'm using the emergency repair specialist and also using the vigilance. Now, one thing that you can really do, if you are not interested in just improving the torpedo acquisition range, which is improved in the case of Shah Zenbing. You can always switch to the grease the gears. The improved third traverse would be a lot much more better, for sure. Like your third traverse is pretty bad, about 51.7 seconds, and this can help a lot. So third traverse would be nice. Also, if you want to use super heavy AP shells, that would be also pretty nice, but I have decided to go with the tankiness because I would like to survive as long as possible till the end of the game. So for that, I'm using the basics of survivability, improved repair party readiness, the fire prevention expert, extra heal, I would say, emergency repair expert, as well as the adrenaline rush. So this is how my captain build feels like. You can also make it super tank build if you want to, but I think the flexibility or at least the performance of AP shell improvement is something that you can consider on Taihang. Your concealment is also not bad, but it can go as down as like 13.3 or 4 kilometer. I don't exactly remember the concealment numbers, but yeah, you can get something like that, which is okay. So that is the captain skills. In terms of the upgrades, it's pretty much straightforward. Main armaments mod 1, the damage con mod 1, the aiming system, you want to improve the dispersion, damage control, improving the tankiness with fires, and it definitely felt a lot with having less heals. Just improving the fire extinguishing time kind of makes it a lot better if you are tanking a lot of HE shells and fires. Concealment system mod 1 and the main battery mod 3 definitely makes it pretty good. So that is the Taihang. So what is going to be my conclusion if you ask me? Well, I find Taihang to be a good ship. It's not like insane in terms of the gun performance like Slava. Slava still has better dispersion overall. The vertical dispersion is definitely, you have seen it's worse on the Taihang at ranges, or at least even at close ranges, it's slightly having worse dispersion. Vertical dispersion, that is the most important factor in this case. But even then, the guns feel pretty solid and reliable, and I find it very comfortable battleship. The gun performance for a sniping battleship like Taihang feels actually good. And you have seen that in the game. It is good ship, 100%. And is it worth it compared to the Commander? Well, that is probably up to you guys to choose. I mean, you might be saying that, what do I think? I think Taihang is really good battleship. It's something. It is something that I would really recommend you guys if you don't have many good tier 9 battleship. If you have, for example, secondary battleship like Pommern, or maybe the Kurfürst, maybe a couple of battleships that are available for coal. If you don't have, for example, Ohio, for example, maybe from the research bureau point, I think Taihang is a very good addition. Why? Because it has improved credit earning capability. At tier 9, it will be earning the highest possible amount of credits possible, because yeah, it's a tier 9. Tier 9 gets the highest credit earning compared to any other tier. So that is something that can be pretty good with Taihang, with its really good gun performance overall and everything. So yeah, for a sniping purpose, or at least dealing consistent damage on broadside, I think Taihang feels very, very nice. Honestly, I feel it to be very good and fun ship, but not super crazy powerful or something even like Slava. Slava does have some, taste in terms of the gun performance, which I still would love. And Taihang does not get it. That gets that taste. But again, the survivability, I would say Taihang has better compared to Slava overall. And the guns feel a lot better because these are 406mm guns at tier 9. That is a big, big difference. Your overmatching capability is going to be so much more superior at tier 9 than at tier 10 when you are playing Slava. But anyways, that is the Taihang review. I hope you get every bit of information that I can possibly able to give for the Taihang, and you get some idea. So I would definitely recommend this ship if you are looking to get one. But again, that is up to your taste. The Commander, I will probably make a review of that as well if needed be. But yeah, I would conclude the video, and I would say it's a solid ship if you are into the sniping or having not a whole lot of premiums, tier 9 premiums right now. You can get this ship. Otherwise, if you have a lot of tier 9 premium, for example, if you have Musashi, if you literally have Musashi, Taihang is not a ship that you should purchase. Musashi is just superior. It's just having so good guns, right? So, yeah, that's basically what I would like to say. So, I hope you liked the video. If you find it interesting and useful, please let me know in the comments. Till then, I will catch you guys into the next one. Peace out.